Hello, hello, beautiful people. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sis Stop Sulkin podcast, a safe space for women that are ready to transform their mind and their body. I am your host, Miss Tasha Talks Life. We talk everything from self-care to self-discipline. So let's get into some authentic, transparent conversation. Yeah, so um well, for those that are listening in the audio world on all platform spaces, I have on makeup. Well, let me not say makeup. I have on eyeliner, mascara, and lip gloss. But that's still makeup. I don't have on foundation, concealer, contouring, and all of that. But I do have on makeup today. I showed up a little cute for y'all today with earrings and stuff. But no, I am excited about today's conversation. Firstly, I kind of switched up my area, my studio for recording. I found a little nook in my home that suits it a little bit better, and I like it. I don't know, it's not a big deal, but I just had to switch up things a little bit. So yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna notice a switch in the surroundings. But yeah, so I have my notes here because sometimes I get a little distracted or I go off on tangents. But today I want to talk about being intentionally social, right? And this topic came to me because I was on spring break last week. And while I was on spring break, now prior to this, I am in a season of isolation. Let me know in the comments if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple, wherever. I am in a season of isolation. And what that means is that in this journey, I am just being very intentional about what I feed my mind, the company I keep, where I go, what I feed my body. And it feels great, but sometimes it feels a little lonely, right? So I did a whole episode 63, on not moving, not doing anything before setting your intention. And so while I was on spring break, initially I was excited to not really have anything planned and excited to just focus on things that I want to do. Spring cleaning, like switching out winter clothes for spring clothes, creating content, focusing on just being still, and that's all good. But then I do believe that we also need to be social because we have relationships that we have to pour into as well than just looking for someone to pour into us, or just completely isolating ourselves from everything and from everyone. So yeah, so I was intentional this spring break. I linked up with my big sister. She's my cousin, but she's like a sister that I never had, a big sister that I never had. I'm the oldest of 4, and I have an older brother. And so I linked up with her, and we've been talking about it for months, and we finally linked up. And then I linked up with a girlfriend that is really close to me, but we haven't been one-on-one in a while. So we did lunch. I met up with some soon-to-be summer coworkers. I think I'll talk about that later, but yeah, girl, I haven't worked the summer in 14 years, and I'm working this summer. And there's so much benefits and perks to it, but I'm like, oh, I haven't worked a summer in 14 years, and I'm gonna be able to do this, and I ain't gonna tell you what it is yet. But yeah, so I linked up with them just to kind of, so we can, meet each other, get to know each other's vibe, energy, things like that. And a couple of other things that I went out with my mom and my sister for dinner, and I just felt really socially full. And I found out that in 2020, I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. So I think it's called like an ambivert or whatever. I've been wanting to look it up and kind of research it or whatever, but I really enjoy my alone time. I really enjoy just being home, not going anywhere. And it mostly starts like in the fall going into fall going into summer, where I really go into like hibernation. Like after my birthday and Thanksgiving, I really don't desire to be anywhere, do anything, but it's not, I love it. I love being by myself. I love that time with God. I really do. So basically that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about, are you being intentionally social with the people that you love, the people that you call your friends, the people that you call your hangout partners, the people that you call your ride or die? Are you being intentionally social with the people outside of your home? Right? Because yeah, if you have a husband, you can obviously, you're going to be social with him, your kids, obviously, right? But are you being intentionally social with the people that you claim to be your circle, your friends, your loves, and if you're in a season like isolation, like I am, then it's something that you must be intentional about. It's something that you have to put on a calendar. It's something that, and that just goes for anything. Like I'm not spontaneous. Like, can't call me and with an hour and say, oh, in an hour, let's go out. I need to wrap my whole mind around all of it. Like, where are we going? What am I going to wear? Do I feel like it? Is it, whole thing for me? Like, it's on my calendar. So from Monday until Saturday, say the event is on Saturday, I am seeing it every day to prepare myself to get ready to go. And yeah, so I want to talk about being intentionally social with the people that you care about. So I want you to think about these questions. When you find yourself and you're in a isolation period, or you're an introvert and you really genuinely don't just do the hangout thing, I want you to ask yourself this question. Why don't I want to go? Why don't I want to go? Why don't I want to hang out? What's the reason, right? Like, really journal it, right? So like when you think about a couple of girls, it's like, hey, let's go. We're going to X, Y, and Z to dance and have hookah or whatever. I don't know. I don't smoke hookah, but I know people that do, and I don't knock it. It's cool if, I ain't gonna lie and say I never tried it. But when I did, I instantly lost my voice. And I'm an educator, and I ain't trying, and I instantly, like, I could not talk the next day. That was at night, obviously, but the next day my voice, it hurt, it was hoarse, it was not cool. So yeah, so that's why I don't mess with it. But whatever, that was just an example. So you don't want to go, and cool, right? But why don't you want to go? And I want you to think about that. Like, why don't you want to go out with your girlfriends that are asking you to go out? Now, there's many reasons, and it could be, I don't feel well, I'm on my period, she's bringing so-and-so, and she ain't really my type, anything, right? But when you address it, did I get it? It's a little like a little fruit fly, and I don't think I got it. But when you address it, right, and you really get to the reason why, then you're able to feel it, like own it. You're able to release the guilt. You're able to do, to just accept it and even articulate it, maybe, right? So when you find yourself preferring to stay home, you want to ask yourself, why don't I want to go? Or why don't I want to hang out with them? Or because, sometimes we have friends that say we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we're dealing with somebody that's no good, or we're hanging out with a girl that doesn't have our best interest at heart. Your real friends are going to tell you, and so you avoid going out with her because she's going to get you straight. So in asking yourself, why don't I want to go, and you're being genuinely real with yourself, is it because she's going to call me out on my BS and I don't want to hear it? I don't want to go out with her because, or I don't have any money right now and I'm trying to save, or like just understanding and getting to the root of why. Why don't I want to do this? Why does that have that feeling inside that's like, right? And then when you feel like you don't want to go and you rather stay home, what is my intention for going? If I go, what do I hope to, like, what do I want to do? Like, what's the intention? What's the reason? What's my motivation? If so-and-so's asking me to go out and I'm like, okay, it's not sound like a bad idea, but what am I going? Where are we going? Are we going to, all right, for my single girls, my motivation may be to meet someone. My motivation may be to get some wings. That's a lot of times my motivation. I like to eat. So we going out. Is it gonna be food? And is it gonna be more than bar food? You know what I mean by bar food? 2-week-old grease. They fry the chicken and the onion rings in the same grease. Nah. I am a foodie, but when I say foodie, that means variety and quality. Okay. I like to eat. I'm not just eating anything. So a lot of times when it's like, oh, let's go out. Where we going? Is there food involved? What's my motivation? Why do I want to go? What's going to get me to go? What's my intention for going? Am I going to, my friend is having a get together with other girls that I don't know, right? My motivation may be to go to introduce myself and, share what I do, right? So why do you have that feeling in your stomach that you don't want to go? Why do you, and if you do want to go, what's your intention for going? What are you going for? What is your motivation? You don't want to just go somewhere and just show up and just be there and just whatever. Even if my motivation is to dance. Anybody that knows me knows I love to dance. And I want to go out because I want to dance, right? And that's the motivation. That's the intention. I'm going out because I want to dance. And my friends call me happy feet there, right? So it's very important to face your truth. Face what we are too old. Okay, we are too old to be pretending. We are too old. You are too old to be acting like, not really wanting to dig deep on your stuff, not really wanting to address the elephant in the room, not really wanting to sit and see yourself in the mirror, right? Real growth, real elevation, real evolving and becoming the best version of yourself is to ask yourself those hard questions, is to get to the root of why we are the way we are. Why are you like that, right? Not just because I am. That's not an answer. So when you think about the things that are driving you or the things that are not driving you, the things that are stopping you, you have to ask yourself these questions. It's not okay to just, it's not okay. And I'm not going to let you know. And it's not easy, and it's hard work to see yourself in the mirror and to identify your flaws. It's hard work to dig deep to understand the root of why we are the way we are. And I think I'm going to talk about that in another episode because I'm getting off topic and I'm getting a little passionate. So I'm gonna wheel it back in a little bit, wheel it back in. So when you think about intention, the purpose or attitude towards the effect of one's action or conduct, and social just means seeking others, enjoying other for companionship, enjoying others, seeking others for companionship. So it's important that in this life, when you say you have friends, or even if you don't have friends, let's touch on that for a minute. If you don't have people, and there are some people, believe it or not, that don't really have family, meaning like they may have been an only child and they're in their 40s, they have cousins and stuff, but as you get older, your cousins move away, your cousins get families and stuff like that. So you don't see your cousins as much as you did when you were a kid, right? Unless they become your friends and whatever. But there are grown adults that are only children and that don't have family, their mother and father, them, right? And then their mother and father may not have had a lot of family, sisters or whatever. So they may not have or that community. And so they may not even have a lot of friends. So even on the other side, being intentionally social may mean sometimes going out by yourself to a social event, going and Googling something where it's women's brunch and buying a ticket and showing up. Maybe going on speed dating if you're single. You don't have to be on the apps if you don't want to, but I know many successful people that found love on apps. But going speed dating, you're out for a couple of hours and you're meeting multiple guys or whatever. Like, you have to be intentional about your social life if you want a social life, right? If you call yourself having friends, you got to be intentionally social with them. You got to reach out. If you call yourself wanting to be in a relationship, but you're not going outside, how is that going to happen? Mr. Right ain't going to come knocking on your door, right? So I think that when you say you want to be in a relationship, or you say you want, companionship, you want community, you want a circle, but you're still home. You're still sitting on the couch watching Hulu, right? So intentionally social means, okay, even if you're, like I said, going out to look for a partner, or dating, not a partner, but like going out to date, be intentional about it. What's my motivation? Where am I going? What am I looking to do? Am I looking to have a good time? Am I looking to find a boyfriend? Because, if I'm going to have a good time, the way I show up, or the questions I ask, or the conversation is going to be a little different than if I'm going to find a boo. You know what I'm saying? So intention, I think that that's very important for us to understand. I think it's very important for you to grasp, to really think about it. So I want you to write it down. The next time that you're feeling like somebody invited me somewhere and I ain't really for it, why don't you want to go? What are you afraid of? What do you don't want to confront? What do you don't want to deal with? What do you don't want to hear about? Who do you not want to be around? What do you not want to see? Really think about that. And I think that would help you to get a clearer understanding of why you are the way you are, why you feel uncomfortable, why you don't want to do the things. So yeah, so I hope that helps you. There was a quote that I liked that I want to read. It's I don't know who wrote it. And it says, intentional living is the art of making our own choices before others' choices make us. Right? So when you're intentional about your time, when you're intentional about the company you keep, when you're intentional about the things, then other people's choices won't affect you because you've set your own intention. And then it says intentionality fuels the master's journey. And when I read that, what it said to me is intentionality fuels God's plan. Right? When you're setting your intention, it's aligning. God knows what you want. God knows what your motivation is. God knows what you're trying to do and what's to come and what you're being intentional about. And so I think that quote is a good thing to end on, is just being intentional. Living is the art of making our own choices before others' choices make us. And intentionality fuels the master's plan. Intentionality fuels God's plan for your life. So you have to set intention for what you want to feel, where you want to go, how you want to do it, in order for it to align with what God has for you. I hope this helps you. I mean, this intentionality, again, if you want to hear a little bit more about my story and how I became, got into this, and why I took a break from recording my podcast, and then I came back to it, but I had to set my intention on what was the motivation for this podcast. What am I trying to do? And it's trying to get you right while I get myself right, because trust and believe, your girl is still a whole work in progress, but every day it is work. But I am seeing and embracing who I am becoming and loving on her. And I want the same for you. So if you want to check that out, that is episode 63 on YouTube, everywhere. It's everywhere. But I want you to be well and be blessed. And most importantly, have an amazing week, but know that your past, whatever happened to you in the past, and the past can be yesterday, the past can be when you were a child, the past can be 10 years ago. It does not dictate your future. It does not dictate what's to come for you. You don't let your past hold you back, because it's not supposed to. We're here today. You made it. You're here. You're well. Let's go forward. Let's stop looking back. Again, I love you and I want you to be well.